How many times have you tried something only to end up saying to yourself, I was destined to fail? You study for exams, put in the effort, but you still fall short. You make plans, work, but the result isn't what you expected. Does that sound familiar? You've probably thought at some point, why does it never work out for me? Maybe you're here now because you've hit that wall once again. You've tried everything, or at least you think you have, and yet you're still left in the same place. Here's the truth that most people don't want to hear. You haven't failed. Not yet. What you're calling failure is actually a lack of effort. You're walking into that exam unprepared, cramming last minute, and saying, I failed. No, my friend, that's not failure. That's being unprepared. The real failure happens when you give something everything you've got, and despite your dedication, you still come up short. But here's the kicker. That kind of failure, that's the failure that matters. Think about an athlete. They train every single day, pushing their body to the limit. They eat, sleep, breathe their sport. They wake up early, stay late, and give it their all. But sometimes, despite all that effort, they don't win. They fall short. That's real failure. That's the kind of failure that burns, the kind that stings, the kind that makes you want to throw in the towel, but at the same time makes you realize something important. You weren't prepared enough. The pain of true failure, it's the best teacher you'll ever have. When you fall after pushing yourself to the absolute limit, it doesn't just hurt. It reveals the gap between what you thought was enough and what you actually need to succeed. It shows you where you're lacking. It shows you the weakness in your preparation, in your discipline, in your hunger. And that's where the real power lies. True failure forces you to confront yourself. But when you don't plan, when you don't put in the work, when you barely give it a shot and still call it failure, you're in a cycle of self-sabotage. You're avoiding true failure by staying in your comfort zone. You don't really fail because you never really give it your all. You don't push yourself beyond your limits, and so you avoid the pain that would make you stronger. And that, my friend, is the real problem. You know what's worse than failing? Not even trying, not even pushing. The worst thing you can do is never go all in. It's a silent form of self-destruction. It's the slow death of ambition. The people who don't try hard enough, who take the easy route, never experience that sting of true failure, and that's why they never grow. Here's the thing, if you don't have the hunger to succeed, then no amount of failure will ever change you. You hear people talk about failure all the time. They wear it like a badge of honor. They say, I've failed 1,000,000 times. But here's the truth. They don't actually feel the pain of failure. They don't feel the drive, that fire that failure ignites. If you fail and you're just going through the motions, just saying you failed because it's easier to quit than to keep going, then you've missed the point. The true power of failure isn't in the loss. It's in the hunger it gives you. You fail because you want to get better. The people who succeed are the ones who really feel that hunger, the ones who don't accept failure as an excuse, the ones who use it as fuel to get better. So next time you find yourself calling something a failure, ask yourself this: did I really give it my all? Did I really fight for it? If the answer is no, then stop calling it failure. Call it what it really is, an excuse. Real failure is the kind that hurts, the kind that drives you to give more than you thought you had. That's the kind of failure that makes you stronger. That's the kind of failure that creates champions. And you're not here because you want to stay weak. You're here because you want to win. You want to fight. You want to be better. Let's break it down. Next time you find yourself hitting a wall, feeling like you've failed, stop and think, have I really tried hard enough? Did I really put everything into it, or did I hold back? Did I make excuses to protect my comfort zone? And if you haven't really given it your all, then this is the moment you stop letting excuses hold you back. This is your call to action. Don't wait for success to come to you. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Stop telling yourself you're destined to fail. If you've been calling yourself a failure, understand that you've only failed if you gave up. But if you keep pushing, if you keep fighting, you haven't failed. Not yet. Not until you quit. And guess what? That's not going to be you. You are going to take this moment, and instead of backing down, you'll push harder. Instead of running from failure, you'll embrace it, because every failure is just another step towards success. And that hunger, that pain, it will become your fuel. Remember this, success doesn't come from never failing. Success comes from getting up after every single failure, stronger, smarter, and more determined than before. So stop calling it failure. Call it what it really is, a lesson. A lesson that will push you to be the best version of yourself. The only failure that truly exists is when you decide you're done trying. But as long as you keep moving forward, as long as you keep that hunger alive, you haven't failed. And I know you haven't failed. Not yet. Think about whether this channel is worthy of getting your love and support. If it is, don't hesitate. We will meet in the next video. Until then, keep evolving.